By now, you've probably heard the news. The Liver King has apparently been exposed, if you want to use that word, for using performance enhancers to get that gigantic build he has. Anyone familiar with gyms, bodybuilding culture, and things was not surprised he had the telltale signs. But I'm not here to adjudicate the Liver King, to go after him for the choices he made for fitness or even his business practices, those desiccated liver supplements that he sells, any of it. There's plenty of that going around right now, and I'm just not interested in that stuff personally. If you want to see one take on that from that goat that does that a little bit, Dr. Sean Baker had a video just a couple of days ago on that, and it's fine. People are free to have their opinions about him. I do wish that he had been a little more upfront about the use of the performance enhancers, but I could see why, from a business perspective, that might not have been the best thing to do. I instead want to ask you a very basic question, and it's in the title of the video. Do you think these revelations about the Liver King's performance enhancement usages are going to undermine or harm carnivore as sort of a broader movement to get back to a proper human diet? Do you think this is going to help undermine the carnivore diet and our ability to promote it to others? Liver King was probably the highest profile person in the community because of his social media presence. He went from virtually no social media presence to an enormous social media presence because of his presentation style. I mean, he made ridiculous videos of going to the UK and carrying giant weights around in front of the royal palace. Videos of him in subway stations and various places in the world doing exercise on the platforms and in the trains. I mean, he was a presence. He was a character, and he is a character, and I don't think he's going away anytime soon either. He is here, I think, to stay in this community. Maybe I'm wrong. But do you think these revelations about him are going to harm us? And I ask this because the YouTuber who did the expose, who, if you're not familiar with what happened, they were leaked emails showing that he was using apparently $11,000 a month or something in performance enhancers, among other things. And some people think that's a big deal. There's a YouTube channel that exposed this, More Plates, More Dates, a channel I'm not particularly fond of, partially because, well, the guy's got a track record of going after keto and carnivore diets. And so there's, clearly a bit of an agenda here, not just a going after the, someone that he believed to be a fraud, which, if you believe someone is a fraud, that's your business to go after them, if that's what you want to do. But there's a track record of going after carnivore, going after keto, and essentially telling people that you need to have sugar in your diet. You need carbohydrates. That red meat in large amount will cause cancer and other things. I mean, you can see from the title of some of these videos here that I have on the screen. That's the person who did this expose. And I don't think it undermines his claims against Liver King. Instead, it's part of a larger program, and I don't think he's coordinating with anybody, but there will be consequences for this, I think. And that could very well be that we will have a harder time promoting this diet that has, and by diet, I mean in the classic sense, the true sense of the word diet, meaning how you eat. I don't like the term way of eating, by the way. It just sounds weird. But we'll have a hard time promoting this diet because you'll have this out there. You will have, there are a lot of weird antics being done in the community, a lot less focus on the weight loss benefits and on the metabolic benefits and the restoration of your body from having various disorders to normalcy, basically through an adoption of an animal-based diet or a full carnivore. We may have problem because the focus isn't often there, but there's a lot of talk in the social media world among carnivores and carnivore adjacent people about like the superhuman benefits you get and all this other stuff. And I don't discount that some of that's real. I mean, you remember I had a mark on my head from hitting myself in the head at the gym with a barbell, and then Neuralink cut my head open a little bit. 2 days later, it was mostly gone. This happened like a week and a half ago. You can barely see any residual marks there. I've never healed that fast before. I heal faster than I used to. But there are some ridiculous claims people make and ridiculous advice that you get out there, including, going out and exposing yourself to the sun and doing all sorts of weird things. And I do wonder if these revelations about Liver King are going to undermine our efforts to promote a proper human diet. whatever the proper human diet is on the spectrum of the proper human diet is for you. Because I'm not a one size fits all person, but I can't also ignore the fact that the case for carnivore is very compelling once you get down to the evidence. But then you have the highest profile person possibly in the carnivore community, people who outside of carnivore have seen and have heard of, finding himself, embroiled in a scandal that may or may not be warranted. Again, I if he's being careful with those performance enhancers, then that's his business. I don't really care about his use of those to get results he wants in the gym. But that's just me. I don't particularly care. It's not my business. And I feel weird having his business being aired and even participating in that by even making this. But I'm wondering, again, what kind of consequences will carnivore see? And one of the reasons I ask is because Liver King is the man behind Ancestral Supplements. Dr. Ken Berry has them prominently displayed on his YouTube channel. At least he did the last time I watched a video of his. And they're widely used. In fact, of the desiccated animal organ supplements, they're a little expensive, but they're not as expensive as Dr. Saladino's, which are functionally the exact same product. His cost almost twice as much. And there are cheaper ones in Ancestral Supplements. The ancestral tenets that the Liver King promotes are largely pretty good. I say that as someone who's a traditionalist. I look at those and go, I can get behind some of these or tweak them a little bit for my own worldview. So there's a lot of value in the work he does. But at the same time, what the expose, the so-called expose, has done is going to undermine his credibility to some degree, at least in the eyes of some people. And I think that's going to present a barrier for a lot of us in trying to promote a proper human diet and try to tell people that they have been lied to about nutrition their whole lives. And that really, if you start eliminating all these extra foods out of your diet, and get down to just ruminant animals and occasionally some other animal product that you don't really need plants, people, tend to scoff at that. And now they may point and say, well, what about that guy? I mean, clearly he wasn't getting his results by doing that. He was getting a little extra help from from Dow Chemical. So I'm curious, though, what you think, because I'm actually making this to ask you, what kind of impact do you think this is going to have on the carnivore community? So let me know in the comments what you think is coming, if there's anything coming from this, or if this is just noise on the internet and it'll go away eventually. So let me know in the comments what you think. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It really does help. Share this on social media. That helps a lot as well. I'm Anthony Stine, the Practical Carnivore. Thanks for watching.